All right, double checking we are live on Twitch here. We sure are. Fireside chat number 261. So a couple things to start with. Marks is the name of the game right now. So I haven't made an official announcement for this. I guess I'll probably do that soon. But we have a new Marks channel, which is right now in the library category, right under the library channel. Might mess with the order a little bit there, but that's where it's going to be. So you should be able to see that now. And basically what that has is it has a list of every mark that we have, which are like awards, basically. So what you can do is you can request marks there, and you can also kind of read up on all the different awards and kind of learn what each one is for. So basically, if you want to request any individual marks, all you have to do is just click the blue check mark next to whatever mark or marks you want to request, and myself and the officer staff and any profile staff who are in charge of that will then update your profile and add any marks that you should have. So, I mean, we'll generally try to check as far as, you know, should you actually have that mark or not. But it's very helpful if you just kind of read what the mark is for, and then you would generally know if you've earned that or not. If we have any questions, we'll contact you. And if you have any questions, of course, you can talk to any officers or just ping us, DM us, anything like that. But what you can do is actually post in the thread. You know, each mark has its own thread in the marks channel, which is a forum-style channel. You can just post there at that mark, and if you have a question or you're not sure if you earned it or not, just post in there. Just send a message, and we'll go in and reply. So to request it, basically, to request a mark, you can just click the blue check mark. You could also add another emoji for fun, really, but also that may help a little bit just because it's a little easier for us to see if you've reacted with a different emoji, but that's totally up to you. You could also literally post in the thread and basically send a message in there requesting it, but basically, you know, an eye behind the scenes, what we do is we have all these threads followed. So we will see the thread popped out under the marks channel in the list of channels on the left side of Discord. We'll see that for any marks that have been requested, whether you just click the blue check mark or add an emoji or post it in there. Any of those will basically open the thread. And then for anybody who's following the thread, it will then pop up as right underneath the channel in the list of channels. So myself and anybody who's following the channel, all the threads, will really easily see that somebody has requested all of those marks. So hopefully that will make it pretty easy for us to kind of be on top of it. But of course, if you have any questions, you know, feel free to post in any of those thread channels, or just, you know, ping or DM me or another officer, etc. Totally fine. At the top in that marks channel is a guide to marks. Now it links to a different guide, which is the old profile and marks guide, which basically has all this mark information that we have in this new channel, but also has some information on some other stuff that's on profiles, like the coat of arms for your house and family and the insignia for your rank and such. So it kind of helps you decode what all that stuff means. So there's a link to that in there. There's also a link to the roster where you can view your profile and kind of view the whole clan roster by house as well. And there's a little bit of information on the different categories of marks in there too. Because you'll notice if you go into the marks channel, you can actually filter it by the type of mark. So there's 6 in there. There's epoch marks, service marks, war marks, celebrations, miscellaneous marks, and emblems. So you can filter it by which kind you're looking at. It doesn't cut down on the number a ton, but a fair amount. So Yeah, that's kind of how they're organized, is by the tags, basically. So you can kind of just look at the 8 block marks, for example, and then, okay, now I'm only looking at whatever, like 9 or 10 marks here to look through. Yeah, so that's that new channel, and the idea being it should make it a lot easier to request a mark. I think the other thing is there's going to be a pretty big focus on trying to get profiles updated and marks awarded as well. With a big component of that being that there is a version 2 of profiles, of the profile design, basically, which a fair number of people already have, but some people still have the old one. There's nothing wrong with the old one. It's just that the new version is a bit better. It's organized a bit better, so everything fits on the screen more. It's more symmetrical. The old one is actually a little bit kind of off-center in some parts, so like a lot of the boxes the marks go in are not square. And it's like a small thing, but it just looks better, and it's more compact, fits more information. It's just a bit improved. So it's not the end of the world if you have the old one, but we're trying to switch everyone to the new one, because that way, when we switch to the new one, it does have to be made from scratch. So if we're going to be adding marks and awards to the profile, then we want to switch you to the new one before we do that. So if you request any marks, we will, in adding marks and updating, we will also be switching you to the new version profile, so making you a new profile from scratch with all the same information, but any added marks. So yeah, I encourage people to just request marks in there. The old mark request form, which is just a spreadsheet where you can just put in, you can request an avatar and stuff like that. That's still going to be there, and I'll try to check that periodically, but probably our go-to method for the time being is actually going to be that when your profile is updated, if there's any changes made to it, you'll actually get a ping from us, probably in the bot shrine, but we'll see. We've been talking about kind of some different formats for that. So you probably get a ping for us from us there, and then at which point, if you don't have an avatar or anything like that, we might ask if you want to request an avatar or anything like that. We've been talking about potentially letting those commands be used in Meat Hall, or at least Gununga Gap, or something like that, or having a new profiles channel to do them in, rather than bot shrine. Not sure, honestly. I think for the time being, we're kind of proceeding with the status quo, but it would be nice to try to find some ways to make profiles and marks and awards a little bit more present and accessible. Unfortunately, it's hard to equal what we had with the old WA forums on the website. Well, we still have them, but obviously Discord is our primary base of operations, so it does kind of stink that we don't have that case where you can simply have all your marks displayed at the bottom of every post. Well, you can't really do that on Discord. So, I mean, I'm always looking for better ways to display the marks, but unfortunately, there's just not really a great way to do it. I mean, with images being posted on Discord, you're really limited. I mean, you would have to have just one image posted with all of the marks on there. So then if we were to do that, we would have to actually make it ourselves manually, and it would be really time consuming to update, even more so than it is currently with the profiles each being a spreadsheet. It's much more efficient and easier, but it still takes some time and effort. But much less so than if we actually just made an image, a raw image, and then had to update that. Anytime you make a change, you would have to upload a new version of the image and then switch the command to the new version of the image. So it's just not really feasible to do it that way. I know we did it for a while like that some years back, and it looks nice, but that's really the one benefit. It looks nice, but all these downsides. I actually think that the spreadsheet profiles do look pretty good. I think the only downside really is that they just aren't on Discord. I mean, we have them all loaded in with the command, and so the link to the roster, you can click your name on the roster or type your name in with an exclamation point before it, in Bot Shrine, and you can get the link to them either way, either method there, and then look at it. But that's still an extra step that it would be nice if we didn't have to do, but we just don't have a better method right now, unfortunately. Or rather, Discord doesn't seem to, unless there's one that we're unaware of. So that said, that's kind of the big thing. There's also a slight change to the roster, which it's not really something that most people, I imagine, would be super concerned with, unless you are somebody that actually does work on the roster, like an officer or anybody like that. But you can check it out. I mean, again, roster link in About WA. Just click the link there and you can check it out. But basically the change is we got rid of the contacted column and added a new column called profile updated. So I'd still like us to keep track of if we reach out to somebody so that they don't have like 5 different people reaching out to them, and also don't get somebody reaching out to them like 20 times a month or something like that. I think it's better to just put that in comments, though, because it's kind of what people have already been doing. I think it's just better to do things that way, and just have it all in that same box, because that would be a comment is talk to the person and they said this or that. Profile updated then is pretty self-explanatory. That's just going to be a new column where we put in if your profile is updated. So to summarize, you can get it updated by filling out the old form or by requesting any marks by just clicking the blue check box on any marks that you want in the marks channel. And then what we will do on the other side of it is basically go through, create a profile for you if you don't have one, or update your profile. And then we will post a link to it, and probably in Bot Shrine is what we're going to do right now. Like I said, talking about potentially changing how it works, but we'll add the marks and update it, and then post it in Bot Shrine, post a link to it, and ping you to let you know that it was updated. And also, if we have any questions like, hey, do you want a custom avatar or custom color or something on the profile, if you don't already have one. And then we'll put in the date in the profile update column for you on the roster so that we know the last time it was updated. And that primarily is going to be used by, because if you rank changes, your rank insignia is going to change in your profile. So that is something to keep in mind for anybody who's working on profiles, updating them. Okay, we can look at, okay, you're promoted after the last time your profile is updated, so we know that needs an update. There's going to be a few other outlier situations, like if a new family is made, then obviously we're going to go and look at all those people and see the last time the profile is updated, and probably we would then know if they need a new family coat of arms put in there, that kind of thing. Not perfect, but I think it will help a lot with, well, trying to keep profiles up to date, of course. All right, I think that is about it, so I should be around for my office hours in a bit.